Well, good evening and welcome, Tiffin University Dragon Radio for Dragon Radio Live, our winter preview here on WTUD, TUDragonradio.com. I'm Russell Snyder, voice of the Dragons, welcoming you to the Pioneer Mill restaurant here in Tiffin. Pioneer Mill, you can reach them at 419-448-0100. You can also find them online at pioneermilloftiffin.com. Make sure you get a hold of them and get your reservations in for their Christmas party they have coming up here this holiday season. And make sure you come out to Pioneer Mill of Tiffin anytime you want to take the family friends out for a fine dining experience. We're going to talk tonight. We're going to talk men's basketball. We're going to talk women's basketball. We're going to talk indoor track and field. We're going to talk swimming and diving, and we're going to talk wrestling. And all those sports go under one man's authority. His name's Mr. Lonnie Allen. He's our athletic director. Let's welcome Lonnie up right now to give our welcome here to everybody. So how about a big round of applause for our athletic director, Mr. Lonnie Allen. How are you, sir? Welcome in.
Thanks, Russ.
Well, welcome here to the program, something we've been doing here for a few years now. And so why don't you go ahead and welcome all the folks here, and let's have a good time tonight.
Absolutely. It's great that winter started now. We had a great fall, and although I don't like winter, but I love our winter sports teams. So I'm excited about seeing them compete and continuing the success.
A lot of great momentum built up over the fall, and it's going to be nice to carry that through the winter time, then into the spring. And we'll be doing another one of these for our spring athletes just a few months from now.
I know it's kind of crazy how fast this year's flown. You know, you look back and we're right in the middle of competition, everything, and then Thanksgiving hits, and now I mean we're talking about being done with school this week.
Yeah,
and it's gone really fast. I think whenever things are going pretty well and things are clicking along, time flies.
Yeah, and it's, as you said, it is finals week, so it's hard enough to be a student in college, let alone a student athlete. And then during times like this, where you're busy not only with your contest programs like this, but with the finals, we wish all of our students and our student athletes the best of luck as they work their way through the finals here as they continue their studies with Tiffin University. And Coach, you said, I was calling you Coach, Mr.
Okay.
Allen.
That's okay.
But yeah, you talked about the winter sports here, and we're going to talk about some basketball, some wrestling, some track and field, and some swimming and diving. And we're going to be talking about a team who's done some things on the national level. Here's our track and field team. They've kind of set the standard pretty darn high for the rest of our athletes here on campus.
Well, it was kind of interesting. We had our first home meet the other day on Saturday. I've never worn my national championship ring until Saturday.
Nice.
And so I broke it out for our meet, and I saw some of our athletes in there, and it was really cool experience to see them, and they kind of noticed those things. So I was beaming a little bit, like a proud parent of our athletes. They're amazing. Not only our track and field athletes, but all of our athletes are. It's just amazing to watch them compete and see them come in as freshmen and see that process. I call it a process, but that process of growth that they have until they graduate, and to see the boys come in and the girls come in, and to leave here men and women is just an awesome process to watch.
Well, that process what makes it kind of hard to watch them leave too. You always, there's new faces coming in every few years, but you get to see these faces, they become familiar, and it's kind of hard to say goodbye sometimes, but that's part of the job.
But then you get to see them again. With our track and field, we had quite a few alums that came back, and you get to see those guys come back and get to see what that process has allowed them to do, become professionals, and now they're having families and things like that, and it's pretty awing.
Yeah, it's a great time to be a part of Tiffin University and Tiffin University Athletics, that's for certain. All right, Lonnie, let's go ahead and get the program going on. We'll bring you back up here at the end of the program to say goodbye to everybody.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Lonnie Allen, our athletic director here at Tiffin University. We're going to bring up now our Tiffin University men's basketball program. They're going to go first because they have practice tonight at 6:30 p.m. You can catch Tiffin University men's basketball this Thursday night and Saturday this weekend, both the games at WTUD, TUDragonradio.com, both live video and audio, as Tiffin University athletics covered right here by WTUD. And we're joined now by our head coach, Jerry Busilla. Coach, how are we doing tonight, sir?
Doing wonderful, Russ. Thanks for having us out.
Well, thank you for joining us here on our preview of Tiffin University winter athletics. We already got a few games in the book. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But first, why don't you go ahead and introduce the young men who are sitting here to our right.
Yeah, I'm pleased to have our three captains this year with me tonight, our three senior captains, Mohammed Rage, senior out of Brampton, Ontario, Khalil McCormick, senior out of Dayton, Ohio, and Jawan Johnson, a senior from the great state of Indiana. Glad to have all three seniors here. Mohammed and Khalil are fifth-year seniors, and Jawan's in his second year with us from a junior college.
Well, thanks for joining us, fellas. It's been my pleasure to watch you two gentlemen for a few years. Jawan, I've been able to watch you for a couple of years here, but thank you for coming on the program. And we'll start here with you, Mohammed Rage. Go ahead and pick up the microphone. Let's talk a little bit about your time here at Tiffin University. You're a senior this year. Have you enjoyed taking on that leadership role that you haven't really had to embrace much in the past this year?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity this year to be in a leadership role. Past years we had a lot of seniors, guys I could look up to and learn from. So hopefully I could pass down what they've taught me to the younger guys, and we can make some strides this year in the conference.
What are you studying here at Tiffin University?
Well, I finished my undergrad at CIS, a BBA, and now I'm doing my MBA in finance.
And what are your plans when your post-season, when your post-career at Tiffin University basketball playing days are done? What would you like to see happen with yourself after that?
Well, hopefully maybe find a job in the United States, stay here, or let's go back to Canada and pursue my career.
And let's talk a little bit about some of your highlights of your playing time here at Tiffin University, and we'll get Coach to talk about you there a little bit as well. Is there any specific things that stick out in your mind as some of your favorite times of wearing the green and gold for the Dragons?
Freshman year, we beat Finley on the road. I think we were the only team all year to do that, and they were on, I think, an 80-game win streak. That was nice. And of course, we just came back from Puerto Rico. That was definitely a highlight of my time here. But overall, just the guys I've met, the coaches, it's just been a great experience.
And Coach, talk about Mr. Rage here. I think he's probably one of the guys that you've maybe have seen the most amount of improvement off of from a guy who came in here as a freshman to where he is now in his playing career.
Yeah, Muhammad's game definitely has improved each year, and he's Mr. Consistency. We know exactly what we're going to get out of Mo, and he stabilizes the back line of our defense when we're pressing. Offensively, he does a great job with our sets, and just as extremely consistent in his play, and loves to block shots, and sometimes he's a little aggressive going after shots, and we're still working on that part. But
it's hard not to when you stand 7 foot. It's hard not to think you're going to swat everything back from where it came from, though, I'm sure.
For sure.
All right, let's move it on down to our next senior, Khalil McCormick. Khalil, pick up the microphone. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good.
Well, welcome onto the program. It's been probably a tough career for you with the injury last year and having to battle back. You're playing injured at the start of the year last year, playing on basically on a broken leg for the first couple of games, and then you had to sit out the year and able to get the red shirt and be able to come back this year. How important was it for you to be able to get that extra year after building up, putting all that effort into getting into your senior year and then having to suffer an injury of that kind?
It was huge to get back on the court, especially I had a kind of like a breakout year my sophomore year, so I was excited going into my junior year. To find out about that injury was kind of like heartbreaking.
Right.
But I took all last year to really learn the game. I was helping out on the sideline, doing a lot of coaching from that aspect.
Do you think it did you some good seeing the game from the bench perspective instead of being out on the floor, from a non-player's perspective a little bit?
Right, it definitely did. Definitely got to view the game differently, so it helped a lot.
All right, Coach, talk about Khalil's time here at Tiffin University. He came in, I believe you played with Joe when Joe was, you got a little bit of time with him, and kind of a torch passing effect then from Joe to Khalil, and he's had himself a pretty outstanding career here with you for the Dragons.
Yeah, Khalil's really had a nice 4 years, and really looking forward to this year. The last 2 years were shortened because of his injuries, but I tell you, his attitude and his commitment to getting himself back in competition form has really been inspirational, I think, for us to watch. He's a talented young man who works hard, and even more so than his basketball, he's just an excellent student athlete. I think he graduated with above a 3.5. Mo was right, close to that as well. So, I just applaud Khalil for his commitment to the game of basketball, but more importantly to the academic side.
What are you studying here at Tiffin University, Khalil?
I got my undergrad in accounting with a minor in forensic accounting, and I'm doing my MBA in finance right now.
And what are your plans post basketball career?
Hopefully to continue playing basketball. the next.
Forever? He'll play forever?
As long as I can.
As long as he can. Stick around the game one way or another, right?
Exactly. If not, then find a career.
All right, and let's go on down to our final senior here, Juwan Johnson. Juwan, thanks for joining us on the program, sir. How you doing tonight?
How you doing? I'm good.
All right, let's talk a little bit about yourself. You didn't start at Tiffin University. You transferred in to the Dragons. Talk a little bit about how you found out about Tiffin University and what made you decide that Tiffin University was a place for you.
Well, I went to my junior college in Indiana, and Coach B, he just recruited me to come. When I came on my visit, I saw so much love from just the different players, the coaching staff, and I felt like I could really come here and be successful.
What was it about Juwan, Coach, when you were looking to bring in some more players that you thought this young man here out of this junior college is a kid we'd like to have in our program?
First and foremost, he's a competitor. He goes hard all the time, gives you, everything he has on the floor. But probably even more importantly, that the kid could shoot it. And I think, was the all-time three-point shooter at his JUCO. And we brought him here for that reason, as well as, his competition level on the floor. And Juwan started out this year, and I don't want to jinx the young man, with a tremendous three-point percentage clip. And we expect him to have a stellar senior year. And he competes extremely hard.
Is that jump shot something you worked on a lot in the off season when you look back at your year last year? Was that something you thought, hey, if I can make myself better to help make this team better this year, get more consistency on the jump shot was one of the things you worked on?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely take pride in making shots. It's something I've been doing all my life. And this offseason, I really just been getting in the gym a lot, staying on the gun, just trying to improve my jump shot.
What are you studying here at Tiffin University?
Sports management and marketing.
And what's your plans when the post-basketball time's done?
Like big bro Khalil, I want to continue to play basketball. But if not, I think I eventually want to get into coaching or be a sports agent.
Big bro Khalil, huh? Is that a nickname on the team for you? Is that you the big brother for everybody, Khalil?
I am. I've been here so long.
He's the oldest.
He's been here for so long?
He's the elder.
Well, yeah, the other teams are probably looking at you too and saying, dang, that guy's been here for so long. Wish he'd get the heck out of that Dragon uniform as well. But I know you guys got practice tonight. You guys need to get running. So, Coach, you got games at home this week on Thursday and Saturday. A couple good basketball teams coming in. Tell the folks what they can expect to see out of your Dragon kids come Thursday night and Saturday afternoon.
Well, you're going to see guys compete extremely hard. These guys are hungry to get back on the floor. And the Gilmore especially, we've played 8 games, 7 of them on the road.
Yeah, you guys have been road warriors, that's for certain.
So it was kind of just, it felt good to be in our gym just for a little bit today, walking through, and man, we're home. And I know these guys are excited about the competition we play Thursday and Saturday. And you come watch them play, you're going to see guys compete.
Well, let's give a big round of applause for our men's basketball program. Thank you guys so much for making time for us here. And as we said, you can catch them on Thursday night. We're going to invite our women's basketball program up next. At Tiffin University men's basketball, women's basketball, you can catch both games Thursday and Saturday at tudragonradio.com. Free video, free audio available for you there as well. Don't forget about the Pioneer Mill Christmas Buffet. Give them a call, 419-448-0100, or go to pioneermilloftiffin.com to make your reservations. The Dragons, as we said, on Thursday will take on Wayne State, and Saginaw Valley will be the opponent on Saturday, both the men's and women's programs. The women's program will get started on Thursday night, 5:30. The women on Saturday will get going at 1 o'clock. So you guys go ahead and grab those microphones, and we'll get you introduced here. We'll get started down there on the end with Coach Missler. Coach, go ahead and grab your microphone there, sir. I know you don't like to hold those microphones, but I'm going to make you do it. It's all good. Coach, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing well. Coach Missler, the head of the Tiffin University women's basketball program. Why don't you introduce your 2 student athletes here sitting between us?
We have our 2 senior captains, Bree Nauman and Deidre McKay here.
Well, I've had a chance to watch both you young ladies play quite a bit of basketball. I've probably seen I'd say at least 3/4 of every game you guys have played at Tiffin University. So thanks for coming on the program. We'll get started here with you. Deidre, how are you doing tonight? Thanks for coming on.
I'm doing well.
So you're a senior guard here for the Dragons from Washington. You're from Washington and Washington Courthouse at your hometown, Miami Trace High School. What was it that brought you to Tiffin University?
I like the small school feel, and I just wanted to play basketball.
And you've been playing the point guard position for most of your time at Tiffin University. You got a little bit of a guard rotation going now with you and some of the younger student athletes. And I asked Mohamed Rage when he was up here about taking on that leadership role. I would think with your team and those young guards you've had, you've kind of had to take on a leadership role with this program, whether you wanted to or not.
Right, of course.
And have you accepted that role? Are you taking on the role? And how are the young guards accepting your? Not only your camaraderie as a teammate, but kind of the what you have to offer them. I guess as far as your wisdom.
They're all really good at learning and trying to find that next gear. Everyone's a great listener, and everyone's gonna try their hardest every day.
And you get a chance to play with some great basketball players like Bree Nauman, who's sitting here to your right. We'll get to Bree in just a moment, but let's talk a little bit about your time here at Tiffin University. Is there anything that sticks out in your mind of some of the great memories you've had while wearing the Lady Dragons uniform?
Definitely getting wins definitely stands out. That's probably the biggest thing overall.
All right, before we get to Bree, let's talk about you as a student now. What's your major here at Tiffin University?
Sports management.
And what are your plans post-basketball career?
Don't have any quite yet, but hopefully get into coaching at some point.
Get into coaching at some point. I think basketball is one of those sports where players turn into coaches more so than other sports. It seems like basketball, I don't know, smaller team size, I don't know what it is. But all right, I'm going to let you talk about Bree now here, and we'll talk a little bit about your time playing with Bree Nauman. Don't worry, we'll ask her the same thing about you in just a little bit. But go ahead. There's also a bit about your time. You guys have played a lot of basketball together here at Tiffin University.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely been enjoyable, and wouldn't trade it for the world.
And tell us about Bree as a basketball player. Where do you think her strengths are?
I think her strengths have grown every year that we've been here. Starting out, she was definitely a threat inside, but it's got all the way from the perimeter now through the years. So I'd say all over the court, she's a strength.
All right. Well, Bree, how are you doing tonight? Bree Nauman, our other guest. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing excellent. Well, before we get into you, let's go ahead and ask that question back before we forget about Deidre here. Tell us about Deidre McKay as a basketball player from the post position. You get to see her her bringing the action to you. Tell us a little bit about your views of Deidre.
Well, Dee's one of the strongest people I've ever met. She's a brick house and just strong in everything that she does, her faith, everything on the court. A friendship. I think that's the greatest thing about her is that she's one of the greatest friends I've ever had. As a player, her leadership and her consistency on the court is something that all of us can look to. I don't know, it's just been great playing with her.
Now let's talk about yourself a little bit. You are here from Richwood, Ohio, North Union High School. You've been playing inside. As Deidre said, you basically came in here as a post player, but you've actually been able to broaden your game up to where you're taking some more three-point baskets, three-point attempts this year than what you have in the past. Is that something you really worked on in the offseason, to try to stretch that defense and keep them guessing on the other side?
Yeah, I guess with Coach, he will push you to do multiple things, and being a threat all over the court is just something that any good player would want to be. So definitely expanding my game is something that I've been working towards.
I asked Deidre, I'll ask you too, any special memories about some of your times at Tiffin University, whether it's a game, a specific play, or is it just the camaraderie of the teammates?
I think that beating Michigan Tech our sophomore year was pretty cool. We were about their only loss on the year, but like Dee said, winning and just being with the team and making friendships and memories like that, it's just been awesome.
You think the friends that you've made on this basketball team are friends you're going to take with you the rest of your life?
Definitely.
All right, let's talk a bit about Coach Mishler down there. He's kind of hiding. I can't see him. He's kind of hiding back there behind. We'll talk about Coach Mishler and what he's brought to the program in his time here at Tiffin University.
Coach definitely is a different type of coach, and I'm grateful for him. He'll push you, like I said, to do multiple things and to believe in yourself and give you confidence in a different way. And it's something that, like I said, I'm grateful for his confidence in me and pushing us to be the best that we can be. And
Coach Mishler, you brought up you're a pretty young basketball team, and how nice it is to have these two senior players not only on the floor but in the locker room working with your young players. We talked about it with Deidre taking on that leadership role with some of those young backcourt players, but I think as a whole, Coach, how these two seniors took on that leadership role with your young team.
Yeah, we're fortunate. Like Coach said, Busilla said before, we have two great student athletes here that are both close to 4.0 GPA. So they lead us in a lot of different ways, not just on the floor, but it makes my job easier, and we rely on them a whole lot to help the younger kids along.
As we said, Coach, you got games at home this Thursday and Saturday. Why don't you tell the folks, if they come and see your Dragon Ladies play, what they're going to get, what they're going to see on the floor from your kids?
Yeah, we're still searching for that. We don't know. We hope, one of the things things that we have to do is play hard every night, and so we hope that we put that effort out on the floor. We're certainly searching for what kind of team we are, and we haven't quite found that yet, but we're going to.
No, we're early enough in the season where we still got time to figure it out. You're just getting into conference play, and we'll be working our way through with your Lady Dragons up through the conference season as we can really hit it hard come January, February. It kind of slows down here for the rest of the month of December, but really hit it hard come January and February, and we'll all be out there supporting you guys in the Gilmore Student Center. How about a big round of applause for our Tiffin University women's basketball team? Thank you guys so much for making time for us. Up next, we're going to have the track and field, indoor track and field squads come up and talk. And don't forget, as we said, the Tiffin University women's and men's basketball games this Thursday and Saturday night. You can catch all the live free video at WTUD. That's tudragonradio.com. And you can get all the play-by-play action at tudragonradio.com as well. Now, Coach Croy's skipping out on us today. He's done this a few times, so he thinks he can take a pass on us this time. We'll welcome everybody else up here. So, everybody, thank you for coming in. And go ahead and give the mic to Coach over there. Coach Ray Robinson is going to handle. He's going to be the leader of the crew here today. Coach, how you doing?
How we doing, Russ? I'm doing well.
I'm doing excellent. Why don't you introduce your 3 student athletes here with us?
Up here, I have 3 seniors: Coy Blair, Mary Boyden, and Davion Bowers. So they're all very accomplished. They're all All-Americans, multiple-time national qualifiers, some school records, and that sort of thing as well.
All right. And why don't you talk about each of these student athletes and what they do for the program and their specific events?
Well, they're all kind of main event shot putters. Coy's the only one that has a strong second event. Coy made the Olympic trials this year in the men's shot. Youngest man in the field. It's a grown man's event.
Right.
Mary's our number 3 all-time shot putter. Was runner-up in the GLIAC this past year. Almost won it. Kind of slipped away in the last round. Very strong performance, national qualifier. She actually transferred to us after her freshman year from Berg across the bridge. And Davion's been an All-American for us. Best shot putter per height in probably the world.
Per height in the world?
Yeah.
That's a great title to have.
Yeah, and I've had coaches, professional athletes come up and just amazed at what he's able to produce at his height. He's obviously extremely powerful and technically sound. Blew his knee out in football his senior year, so redshirted last year, came back, started his master's program for us. So this is his 5th year.
Awesome. Well, Davion, pick up the microphone. We'll start here and work our way down. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program. And let's talk a little bit about that. For you, Coach Robinson mentioned that you used to play football. Were you a 2-sport athlete at that time?
Yeah, so that was 4 years of dual sport.
Okay, and then so track's something that's been something you've loved for a long, long time. And Coach mentioned you as a shot putter. Best in the world at your height is what he says. So he obviously does mean that you have a lot of power in that body. Is that what it takes for you to be? Because you look at you and Coy, you guys are 2 totally different people. Is that what it takes for you? Is that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have to be very powerful because of the height difference. So that's an advantage that I bring to the field.
And where are you from originally? What's your hometown?
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. And you come to Tiffin University because you wanted to be a track athlete and a football player?
Yes.
Is that how it all happened?
Yeah, I was recruited to be a dual sport, so it's one of the things I wanted to do.
And what are you studying here?
In MBA for marketing.
Okay, and what are your plans post-track, post-college?
I want to be owner-operator of my own real estate firm.
Okay. You got it pretty focused on that.
Yeah.
I like it. It takes focus to be a student athlete, and then why not take that focus into what your professional life will be? Okay, David, thank you so much. All right, Mary, your turn. How are you, Mary?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing excellent. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a senior as well?
Yes.
And what's your hometown?
Somerset, Ohio.
Okay, and you originally went to Heidelberg?
Yes, my
and
freshman
then
year.
Transferred over to Tiffin University?
Yep.
Okay, what was the reason for that change?
Well, my coach left in my freshman year, and then I also just, financial reasons and all that, so I figured might as well just go across.
And you figured it was the best move that you could do, and you know that's true now, right?
Yeah, very easy move.
All right, let's talk about you as a track and field athlete. What's your talk about what you do, and talk about a little bit about your time at Tiffin University.
Well, I'm a shot putter. Right now, I'm the top shot putter of the women. We have a couple underneath. For the most part, we just, train and lifting, and that's the most part of the throws. That's where the fun comes from. So I definitely enjoy doing that, and we do team meals, so we're a very strong team together.
Okay, and what are you majoring in?
Marketing and public relations.
And what's your plan after school?
Right now, I'm looking at grad schools, trying to get my master's in marketing. So that's the plan for now.
Awesome, excellent. All right, let's move down to the next one. Coy, how are you?
I'm doing good, Russ. How are you?
I am doing well. So let's talk a little about you. You've had a pretty successful career here at Tiffin University so far. I mean, the entire track and field program has been incredibly successful. Well, let's talk about you a little bit first. Where are you from?
I'm from Logan, Ohio.
Okay, and what was it about Tiffin University that thought this would be the place for you to continue your collegiate career?
I transferred in from Purdue. I spent my first 2 years at Purdue, and then actually Coach Ray is from the same hometown as me. His dad was one of my high school coaches, so when I was looking at other opportunities, I said this is the place for me.
Good job, Ray. Good job. And what are you studying here at Tiffin University?
I'm an athletic administration major.
All right, and what's your plans post? I mean, Olympic trials again, is that the goal?
Yeah, keep throwing as long as I can. It was a great opportunity to do that, but I still have some team goals I haven't yet accomplished, so that's pushing forward first.
I'd like each one of you guys to talk a little bit about being a part of something that's been so incredibly successful here on campus, and knowing that you guys have really helped build a tremendous foundation for what the future has to hold at Tiffin University Track and Field. So talk a little bit about being a part of such a successful program and where you guys see the program going when your time's done.
I see the program only building. No one likes to lose, so once you get accustomed to winning, that's what you want to keep doing. Sure. And once you are winning, it's easier to get better athletes in.
I would think.
And that's what we're doing as a program, is building, and it's athletes are becoming more readily available to keep the momentum going. Everyone likes to win.
Mary, same question about the Tiffin University program, where it is, being a part of it, and where it's going.
Right now, I see, we're very strong, and it keeps getting stronger. And it's great to see, the younger women coming in, because you don't see a lot of women going towards the throws. It's harder to recruit them in, seeing them, coming to Tiffin, and then seeing them getting stronger and just building that foundation is really great.
All right, David, your turn as well. Your experience with the team and being a part of something so productive, and where's it going to go?
I feel like this team is the sky's the limit for this team. Over 5 years of being here, I've noticed every year we build off of what we finish off of. So for the next couple of years, I see us continuing that route.
Coach Robinson, we'll grab that microphone one more time and talk about this team compared to some teams in the past. What are the strengths of this team, and where do you think this team can get to?
When I was at Tiffin, it was a very even team across different event groups. More recently, we've built off of a couple, stronger athletes, and the success of those athletes has led to, again, us being a more even team. We are strong in every single event group. At the national level, there's no other team that's scoring in the jumps, the distance, the sprints, the mid-distance, the throws. And we're scoring in all of them. Every school is strong in one or two things, and we're strong in everything.
Wow.
It's really, really unusual, and people outside of Tiffin wonder how we do it, but we're given great resources, great administration, great facilities, second to none, and it's really helped lead to where we are now. Talk
a bit about the Alumni Open over the weekend. How'd that go?
It was awesome. So actually, one of our alum kind of showed us up a little bit. Ashley DeWitt, who will, I'm sure, be a first ballot Hall of Famer here at TU. She coaches at Indiana Tech now. She's their throws coach. Came back and actually won both events. Decked out in TU gear, though, still.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, you guys got coming up kind of not a whole lot going on until January, and the next big one at home will be the Tiffin Dragon Open on January 21st and the Dragon Invite on the 11th. I think we're the one on the 21st. We're going to be there to broadcast for WTUD. So I'd like to thank you guys so much for all the hard work you guys put in. You guys do a tremendous job, and it's pretty cool to get down there and celebrate national championships. So let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, that's the goal. Thanks.
All right, this is our Tiffin University Track and Field. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you guys so much. We'd like to invite up Coach Noah Moran and the Tiffin University Swimming and Diving Program. So if you'd like more information on anything we're doing at TU Dragon Radio, go to tudragonradio.com. By yourself tonight?
I think so.
By yourself tonight. All right, pick up the microphone. How you doing, Coach Moran?
I take that back. Steve's here.
Steve's here. He's going to come on up.
Yeah.
All right, well, Coach Noah Moran and our Tiffin University swimming and diving program. Steve Rose is going to come up and join him as well. Coach Moran in his second year at Tiffin University, and we got a chance to do, we've been doing a coaches show with Coach Moran on Wednesday. I think it's Wednesdays. Yeah, Wednesdays at noon. So any of you coaches who aren't doing coaches shows yet, come over and see me, and we'll get your coach schedule or your coaches show scheduled as well. But all right, let's talk a little bit about Coach. We've been able to talk about a couple of your meets already, but let's talk about where your kids are and whether that's about where you thought they'd be at this time, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, this is an interesting point in the season for us. We just had kind of our mid-season meet, which is where we get a little bit of rest. We don't do a big deal with it as far as some other teams do, but just give us a good idea of where we're going to be, hopefully at the end of the year. So swam pretty well this past weekend. I was really happy with generally where we were with everybody. Still making some simple mistakes, but still showing lots of improvement from where we were.
Well, your assistant coach, Steve Rose, is sitting there. And why don't you go and introduce Steve, and we'll talk a little bit about what Steve does with your kids.
Well, I guess I'll introduce myself. Stephen Rose, this is my 4th year here at Tiffin. I came in to help start the program with Margarita Kalmakova, and I've been helping with Noah here since he came in 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago now. And my main focus is on the diving portion of the swimming and diving programs.
So how are the divers this year? Talk a little bit about some of the kids who are off to a good start, and give us a general overview of how the divers are doing this year.
We actually had an incredibly strong start to the season, and I think it was our first meet at Ashland. Morgan just missed the NCAA qualifying standard, and in our second meet she got it by like 10 points, so it's a pretty comfy margin there to go to the Black Tuesday meet come March. And we've been kind of dealing with some injuries since then, but she just got medically cleared, so we're kind of taking our time getting back into the swing of things for her.
Right. How difficult is that for somebody who's a diver? Because I would imagine diving is something that repetition is incredibly important, and if you are coming off an injury, not having that, I guess, that practice time could really throw you off. Is that hard in diving for somebody to come back from an injury?
It's like any other sports. There are different specifications you have to really focus on. Physically, the muscle memory will be there. It's just kind of snapping back into it, and it's more or less building the confidence, because the mentality is going to be kind of tough coming back to, I wasn't where I was before this.
Sure.
So we have to work with that as well, and that's the hardest part of it.
Well, Coach Moran, we heard about the divers. Let's talk about the swimmers now on your team, and talk about some of the kids who are off to some good starts. We had a chance to meet a couple of them throughout our coaches show program, but talk about some of the kids who are off doing some good things for you so far this year.
Yeah, this past weekend, on the women's side, I probably would say that the 3 best swimmers that we had were Mari Johnson, Olivia Salome, and Nastya Vichenko. Both of them swam, or all 3 of them actually swam pretty well. Most of Olivia's swims were her best times, actually, which is great to see at this point in time. Usually we don't expect something like that to happen until the end of the year. So I think she's going to be really close to being able to make NCAAs. That's, I know, one of her real strong goals. She's just been going at it in practice and really aggressive with everything, which is great. Mari Johnson had, I think, 2 of the 3, actually 3 of the 4 swims I think were also her best times. She dropped like 5 or 6 seconds from her 200 fly time last year, which was incredible. I know when she looked up at the clock to see the time, it was like, what did that say? Because she did not think that was the right time, which is always good to see. But yeah, so she swam well. 100 fly was, again, faster than she went at GLIACs last year. We're making some pretty good improvements. Nastya Vichenko, real solid again this past weekend. Still have a lot of work to do with her, but she was our NCAA qualifier last year. Scored in the 200 fly, looking to try to make certain that we not only repeat but do better, and she's right about where she was last year, so pretty happy with that too.
When you look at where your kids are now, and then you forecast, I guess, through the rest of your schedule, what is the areas where you think that your kids, if a couple improvements in these small areas could really, change the fortunes for our kids?
Honestly, probably a lot of it, the mental aspect of it. They're going to get beat up here in the next couple of weeks.
That's going to be hard with a college kid anyways, right? I mean,
yeah.
Mentally beat up anyways.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the great things about not having to, have classes, after next week, get a little bit of a break, and we can just focus on swimming and, hopefully then sleeping in between practices and stuff like that. But that's kind of where we're at with the season. It's just it's a little bit of a grind, but there's just no replacement for being in the water. You have to spend the time. You have to spend the time there regardless. So.
Well, as I said, there's not a whole lot left here in December, but January, things kick back up, and you have one more home meet against Findlay, right? There's one more home. I think we'll be there to broadcast that one as well. So, yeah, if you get a chance to get out and check them out, they practice and compete out at the Tiffin YMCA, and we'll be there on January 20th. But, yeah, it's been fun doing your coaches show so far, and it sounds like your kids are really working their tails off and working hard. So, continued success, and we'll talk about it again on Wednesday, I guess.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Russ.
All right, Tiffin University Swimming and Diving, everyone. Big round of applause. Let's bring wrestling up. Tiffin University Wrestling will be our final sport of the night as we talk Tiffin University Winter Athletics. And then we'll bring our athletic director, Lonnie Allen, up to close out the program for us as Coach Joey Simcoe's coming up and coming of his student athletes, and looks like his assistant coach, who, according to WTUD liners, if you don't listen to WTUD, he'll put you in a headlock. It's one of my favorite ones. It's one of my favorite ones. All right, Tiffin University Wrestling. Coach Simcoe, how are we doing tonight, sir?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I am doing excellent. I know you guys had practice and were able to get out here just in time for the program to start. Probably timed it up so your kids would eat.
Yeah,
right? Is that what you were doing?
We got here in time for Garrett to eat. If we don't feed him, he gets angry.
I felt bad when he came in because it's burritos. And last time we talked, he has a problem with burritos. He has a big burrito issue. So, well, go ahead and introduce everybody you got here with you, Coach Simcoe.
So we have Dustin Porter, my assistant, Garrett Gray, fifth-year senior, and Hayden Brownie, a redshirt freshman.
All right, and then we'll start with you, Dustin. How you doing tonight, Mr. Assistant Coach?
Doing well.
And welcome to the program here. Why don't you talk a little bit about the student athletes over here to your right, a little bit about the work ethic that you see them put in on a day-to-day basis, and then we'll get over to them and dig into them a little bit.
Garrett's a really hard worker. He's been a really hard worker since he got here. He's been doing well throughout his entire career, and he just keeps pushing further. He was an All-American 2 years ago and was working really hard. And then last year he was projected national champion. Fell a little bit short of that, and we're back and we're working hard this year to try to get back to that. Hayden was a redshirt last year and didn't really compete for us personally, but he was always at the open tournaments doing well and wrestling hard. So looking for big things from him this year as well.
All right, Coach Simcoe, anything you want to add to that about these two young men?
Yeah, I mean, Dustin kind of nailed it with Garrett. He's from jump. He's always pushed the envelope at heavyweight. It's been awesome to see him evolve and become kind of the freak that he is. Hayden, though, people don't expect him to be a pinner. He's kind of like a long kind of build, and he's got this three-quarter Nelson that's nasty. He actually wrestled one of our other kids in the finals this weekend, and Richie's comment after the match was, if I didn't go over, I was going out. So, yeah, I mean, he's a really tough kid. He's a lot of fun to watch, really exciting.
All right, let's start with you, Garrett. Welcome to the program. We got a chance to talk with you, actually, was that last week, I think, on the Coach Simcoe show. So nice to talk to you again, and another year and off to some more success. Let's talk about your season so far.
Absolutely. Had a good start. Michigan State, I'd never won that. Ended up winning it this year. Faced a little bit of adversity. Got kids that really don't want to wrestle me anymore. They kind of they hold out not to lose.
Right.
And they wait till the end, and then it makes hard to wrestle a kid that runs away for 7 minutes. But
does it get frustrating? Is it hard to keep your composure with that as well?
It does. It's more.
See, I'm not used to having people run away from me. If I'm going to put confrontation out there, they're coming towards me because it's a little bit easier for them. But I'm not used to what you're talking about there. But go ahead.
No, it makes it complicated. Same as some of the same stuff I ran into last year at the end of the year. Just had kids that didn't want to wrestle. It's hard to wrestle somebody that doesn't want to wrestle. They just don't want to lose, and it makes it complicated. But I've won the 4 tournaments we've been at, so kind of just rolling down the road slowly. I mean, not trying to get too far ahead of myself and just trying to keep everything in check. Just having fun so far.
Garrett, about where you guys thought he would be, coaches, at this point of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. We've known he can wrestle tough, and he can wrestle with anybody in the country, Division I, Division II, Division III. So he's proven that time and time again. I think last year or 2 years ago, he had 2 matches against Division I All-Americans, kids ranked in the top 5, and he came out, losing by 1 or 2 points, and that's when we knew, and we expected from then on that he was going to be a big player at heavyweight. So. And
Garrett, we mentioned this before on the coaches show, but what are you majoring in here at Tiffin University?
Homeland Security.
And your plans after graduation?
As of now, I'm looking to be a state trooper. I'm an auxiliary officer with them now, so looking at joining the troopers in the spring or fall of next year.
You don't lie to that young man. If he comes up to the car and wants to know what's going on in the vehicle, that's an intimidating fellow. All right, go ahead and give it over to Hayden now. Thank you, Garrett. Hayden, welcome to the program, bud. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. What's your hometown?
I'm from St. Paris, Ohio.
Okay, and what was the path that brought you to Tiffin University?
Actually, my high school coach is really good friends with Coach Simcoe. They got to talking, and my high school coach told me that Coach Simcoe is a real good guy and all, he looks after you. So I decided to come up here on a visit, got along with the guys real well, got along with the coaches, and just fell in love with the school.
All right, and let's talk a little about your time here at Tiffin University. What weight do you wrestle?
I wrestle 165 and 174. I bounce back and forth there.
Where's he best at, Coach? Where should he be at?
I think 174. He's a pretty tall kid, so I think that cut's going to be a little hard on him, through the grind. So I think 174 is his best spot.
Let's talk a little bit about your season so far. Talk about the matches you've been in, and if you're about where you think you should be at this point of your season.
It's been an interesting season so far. I mean, we went to Eastern Michigan. I ran into some tough kids there. Got my butt kicked a little bit. Then we went to...
What did you learn from it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's 12-3, though, so he didn't get his butt kicked.
Right.
Then we went to Case Western. We had a good tournament there. We went 5-1, and then I was out for the I forget what tournament it was. Finley tournament, because I was had some problems with my neck, and then I was back last weekend for the ONU tournament and did pretty good there.
Is Coach, is he about, same question we asked you about Garrett, is he about where you would expect him to be at this point of the season?
Yeah, I would have liked to seen him try this cut to 65 in the beginning rather than now. But other than that, I mean, his wrestling's on point. Hayden's got a duck under that people fall on their face. It's really funny to watch. So he's been a hammer. He's taking people down. He's pinning people. I mean, he's scoring a lot of points for us.
What are you studying here?
I'm a law enforcement major.
And what are you planning on doing after graduation?
Eventually, I want to become a game warden.
Oh, okay. I like it. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
All right, where are you guys ranked right now?
The second ranking hasn't come out yet. We started off as 10th in the nation, 6th in the region, which makes no sense.
How awesome is that, everybody? I mean, preseason top 10 ranking for our Tiffin University wrestling program. That's pretty awesome.
But yeah, so we just redid regional rankings or whatever. We did our second one. So national ones will come out here in a couple weeks, or a couple days, excuse me. And then we go to Midwest, not this weekend, but the following, and then there'll be another one right after national duels. So yeah, it's probably top 10, I'd assume.
And only moving up, I would assume, as well. And then you guys will have one more home match in February, February 8th, I believe, against Ashland. I believe that's the one that we're carrying as well right here on WTUD. So if folks come out and watch you guys wrestle, we asked that to the basketball coaches. We'll ask you now as well. If people come out and watch the wrestling at Tiffin University, what are they going to see?
Intensity. That was kind of the thing. So we've been going to that Ohio Northern tournament since I got here, and I got some really nice compliments. The guys got some nice compliments from referees that have been there, since we've been going, and they said they basically told us it's incredible to see where we started and where we are. The Ohio Northern coach came up and said that he asked if he could video some of our matches, or I would share some, so that he could show his guys what they should be doing. And to me, that's a huge compliment.
Absolutely.
Coach Beechler's been, a staple in wrestling for years. So it was a really good feeling to know we're on the right path, and to know that when we wrestle whistle to whistle. We push the pace, and it's intense. It's loud. It's fun. I mean, I think everybody here has been there. I'm kind of a psycho on the sideline, so
and elsewhere.
Yeah, I usually turn red a couple times. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. You're absolutely right. You guys got a great thing going here and some great kids. I've had a chance to meet a couple of them through doing a coach's show with you. And, hey, you guys are off to a great start this year, and the program's only on the rise. So continued success, guys. Thank you guys so much. How about it? Big round of applause for our Tiffin University Wrestling program. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Russ.
I'd like to invite, I think, our president, Dr. Lillian Schumacher, is here. I'd like to invite her up to help me close the program out here from the Pioneer Mill Restaurant. 419-448-0100, pioneermillofttiffin.com. Make sure you get your reservations in for the Christmas buffet dinner happening up here. There you go.
Thank you, Russ.
Well, thank you, Dr. Schumacher. There you go. How about that one right there? Is that one working?
Test, yes.
There we
Can
go.
you hear me?
All right, well, thanks for coming out to the program tonight.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Well, you got the chance to meet some of these student athletes, and you see it. I mean, you see the university, everything about the university. And here tonight, we celebrate athletics, and you got some winter sports programs who have not only had traditional success, but some programs who are having some fantastic success on the court or playing fields now. And people have mentioned these GPAs up in the high threes, so there's a lot of things for you to be proud of, I would think.
Absolutely. It's like a proud mother, right?
There you go.
And I've got to tell you, listening to the students telling their stories tonight, that was pretty awesome, pretty neat to listen to. And you can't help but be proud of our athletic teams, our student athletes, our coaches. The athletic programs at Tiffin University are second to none. And you all work hard, whether it's the students, whether it's our coaches. Everybody works hard and does the best that they can. And I'm very proud of all of our athletic programs here at Tiffin University. I've got to tell you, I really, in the community, I often hear story after story about our coaches, story after story about our student athletes, and I want you to know that because you're amazing on the court or off the court, on the field or off the field, on the mat or off the mat. What else is there? Okay, you get my drift, right? But you're also that amazing in the community. And it goes a long way when your president hears those comments within the Tiffin and local community. It says a lot about you student athletes and a lot about the coaching staff. So be proud of that because you're student athletes and you're professional and you're courteous no matter where you are, and that goes a long way for me. So I appreciate that very, very much. Just a shout out to the coaches. I just want to tell you how proud I am of all of you. I know we don't always give you everything that you need and everything that you want to run your program successfully. Some of our programs have better facilities than others, and I know that I wish we could wave a magic wand and get facilities for all of our programs that are top notch, but we'll work on it and we'll do the best that we can. And please know that I really, really appreciate all the work that you do and all the effort that you do to do what you do with our student athletes. So thank you for that.
How about some final word of advice for our student athletes as they finish up finals and get ready for next semester?
They need to work hard, they need to study hard, and then they need to celebrate with their families or whoever they want to celebrate with after they finish finals this week. But work hard. It's okay to play hard a little bit too, and then come back next semester ready to start again. Thanks, you guys. Have a great break and a great winter season for all our student athletes.
Tiffin University's sixth president, Dr. Lillian Schumacher. Thank you so much, Dr. Schumacher. I appreciate it. And that'll be our program for tonight. Thank you so much to all of our student athletes, coaches, administrators who made the trip out here tonight, and all those who helped us set up and help us tear down. Thank you guys so much. More information, go TiffinDragons.com. And as every day, folks, it's a great day to be a Dragon. Have a great night, everybody.